I feel like I really want to fight Stipe Miocic. I feel like I could beat him.
Next, you don't want like a tune-up, just go straight for the belt.
I don't think I would need a tune-up. I'm pretty tuned up. I'm pretty in tune. I feel great. I feel strong already. But, you know, like Stipe's like, what, 230 or something?
Yeah, in the 230, 240 range.
Yeah, I feel like me at a lean 230 is plenty. I feel like I could totally beat him, just based on his performances with DC, our speed differences, my fight IQ, my versatility, my faith and confidence. I think I'm the guy to beat him for sure, and I want to strike while I'm feeling hot.
John Jones jumped on Twitter and said, "Coming to heavyweight, you know, I'll see that title soon."
Yeah, John Jones going to heavyweight is very interesting. There isn't anything I'd rather have him do. I mean, the guy either wants to fight or he doesn't. If he wants to fight, he'll let us know, and if he doesn't, he won't.
A certain Johnny Barnes Jones piping up, saying that eventually he himself will become the baddest man on the planet.
John Jones alluded to the fact that he's in talks or somehow interested, somewhere there's a discussion of him and Stipe. I like that fight. Anytime there was talk and discussion of John Jones going up to heavyweight, it was exclusively to take on Daniel Cormier. All of a sudden you hear Stipe, you go, well, that's a refreshing name. Anytime John Jones is going to get in there, one thing that John is going to need, and it's the plight of his own success. He is so good, and he's created such a gap from everybody to create the mystery or the illusion that tonight is perhaps the night that the torch gets passed. Perhaps tonight is the night that John Jones gets beat. Stipe fills that void from a business side, from an anticipation, from a media, from a build-up, from a suspense. That's all we need. And Stipe most definitely satisfies that. Most definitely you stand back and go, wait a minute. That's a hard hitter that moves real well on his feet, that knows how to wrestle, that doesn't just go get thrown down and held there. Stipe could be a really interesting fight. And in addition, we would be along for the journey, wouldn't we? Because that would be the foray into John Jones changing his career to the heavyweight division. This would be the first step of a journey into creating a new story in John Jones and his career. And it would be at heavyweight, and it's fun, and it's compelling. And who the hell knows who's gonna win? It serves everything it needs to. Plus, don't forget, you're sitting here talking about John Jones, gotta get Stipe back to the table, right? It's not as though Stipe, the most decorated heavyweight of all time, is sitting over there with no fans and no interest. People want to see Stipe. There is something special and something meaningful about being the guy to beat John Jones, for sure.
There are some insane fights that seem to be in the plans, accidentally leaked.
Last night, photos leaked of 2 UFC pay-per-views currently being worked on.
And I was just telling somebody the other day, our lineup for this summer is incredible. So I'm hoping that John Jones is going to be a part of that lineup this summer.
You looking at somebody? Is it Stipe? Is it Francis Ngannou? Obviously has to deal with some injury issues.
Yeah, Stipe makes sense.
International Fight Week, John Jones versus Stipe Miocic for the interim heavyweight title of the world in Las Vegas. I mean, come on, sign me up right now.
That's a wild fight, man. I think it's going to be incredible to see Jones in the heavyweight division. He is the most dominant champion we've had in any division so far. He just does incredible things, man.
No, the man's incredibly well-rounded. He's got a great gas tank, but he's very explosive. He's very tall, very long, and he knows how to use all of his tools. Stipe Miocic went on a 6-fight win streak at one point, defended the belt 3 times, more than anybody else in the history of the heavyweight division in the UFC.
John Jones wins the title in 2011, and from then on has fought more fights as championship fights than he has other fights.
Stipe, he's going to go down in history as the greatest heavyweight of all time. And he's put on some of the most monumental, incredible performances ever in the history of the company. He is the best heavyweight ever.
John Jones clearly interested in returning, clearly interested in competing. Why wouldn't you make a John Jones fight against Stipe, which to me seems like the best of all possible outcomes?
The number one fight I want to see in the UFC could potentially be going down.
A lot of people are talking about it. It's being covered in the news MMA sites. Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic for the interim title looks like it's happening. There is not a better interim title fight that they could make. Stipe Miocic is the man, potentially the greatest heavyweight that we've ever seen. He defended the belt more times than anyone, so he rightfully so deserves the label as the best heavyweight ever. Jon Jones, without a question, I don't care what you say. You can have an opinion on the GOAT stuff, but you cannot have an opinion that Jon Jones is the greatest light heavyweight that we've ever seen. The man is an athletic freak, and that's predominantly what has won him all of his fights. Of course, he's got great wrestling. The ground and pound is phenomenal when he gets on top of people. Striking's very good as well. This will set the heavyweight division on fire. It will capture the imagination.
Jon will do stuff that nobody else can do. He'll run across the ring, jump in the air, and throw a flying knee. Like, these are things that Stipe's not going to do. Stipe is very basic, but basics win championships all the time. Like, that fight works. The X's and O's of that fight, it is compelling as hell.
Stipe is one of the greatest to ever do it. You have a great versus a great, GOAT versus a GOAT. It's such a good fight.
Jon Jones and Stipe are for sure the greatest other weight classes in the UFC. This fight is going to be insane.
I mean, that is the fight to make. You know, if there's a fight that's going to solidify Stipe as a superstar in this sport, then it's a win over Jon Jones. We've seen what Jon Jones was capable of at light heavyweight, and you just kind of look at his physique and his size. You know, he's still got a longer reach than Stipe, even stepping up a weight class. That's the fight to make.
We've never seen Johnny Bones Jones up a heavyweight, and as Dan's just pointed out, he's certainly got the frame to do it. It's the size of him, the length of his arms, those long skinny legs. Stipe needs it. Stipe Miocic needs a Jon Jones now, because I think the conversation about who's the best heavyweight in UFC history is probably done now. It's Stipe Miocic, but to put Stipe in the greatest pound for pound all-time list, he needs another pound for pound superstar, and Johnny Bones Jones is that man.